So, this is a series it's going to be a series that I've been dreading telling because when I look back on it with an objective mind, I'm like, Paula, how? How? But I hope if anyone hear any of these signs, I want you to really think about the person you're in a relationship with. And this is going to be a series. This is going to be my narcissist personality disorder or my borderline personality disorder. And maybe I'll just, put some links below or describe what that is. But if anyone has been in a relationship, not with someone who's a little bit narcissist and they're on this spectrum, we're all on some sort of spectrum or something. I'm talking about someone who literally they're out for blood. I mean, they're out to drain your energy. And that's when I did research after my relationship with my ex-fiance, I tell you guys, like after come out of that relationship, I felt like I had PTSD. And I'm just going to tell y'all one story because then I'll get into, maybe I will explain it and kind of lead up to things. But I have to tell you how I still went on to get engaged to this man. But he had admitted to cheating. We talk about $700. He had admitted to cheating. And at the time I just, I had joined this church that I love. And I had been at that church for 2 years, so it's now like 7 years, I guess. So at the time I'd been at church for 2 years, and I was starting to kind of like not just go on Sunday, but try to take classes and try to invest a little bit. So that definitely changed my relationship too. So my ex-fiance is military or was. I really don't know what his situation is right now. But he was in active duty military and he was stationed overseas. And then I met him in DC. But then after about a year, he got stationed overseas and we were in a long distance relationship. He went to Afghanistan. Anyways, he got stationed back to like Maryland. And it was foolery. Foolery. I mean, he touched down and it was crazy. Before anybody said he was at war, look, I'm a researcher and I didn't know to turn that part of my brain on in a relationship, but it started to come out. And even now, when I start to read about people with those disorders, I'm wondering, did he want it to come out? So he admitted to cheating, and like that, I was so distraught over that. That literally that pulled the rug from underneath my feet. Again, we're going to go over to these personality disorders, which is really what he wanted. Anywho, but I was just kind of at peace. I was trying to get my mind together. I was like, let me just get my mind together that we're not going to be together. Like, although we can get married and different things like that. So he begged me and pleaded, listen, I'll get another phone. I will do this. I'll put in a relationship with or engage to on Facebook. And again, I was never really into Facebook. I kind of am now with my business and just trying to keep up with some of my friends, but I really don't check social media or Facebook that much, really at all. So I'm sitting there and I turned 34. Did I turn 33? 33 or 34. I can't think of it right now, guys. But I went to Delaware, Rehoboth Beach. And if anyone is familiar with the DMV, like you can kind of go on like these weekend trips or these day trips, really. You can go to Ocean City. You can go to Atlantic City. You can go to New York. Like you can go either train, bus, or you can drive. So I actually drove to Delaware, and I'm scared of bridges, so I took the long way around to Delaware, and I spent the whole a few days just on the beach, just getting my mind together. And I would say praying to God. Yeah, I was talking to God. Yeah. And I came back and I was sort of like, I'm going to make this decision. Like it's either I'm going to be with him or I'm not. So I made the decision. We had talked while I was up in Delaware, and I was like, let's give it a try. So I said, at the time he had moved to a row home outside of Morgan State University. So I said, on my way back, he's like, I want to take you out for your birthday. So when I get there, so on my way back from Delaware, I drive down to his house and he's not ready to go. He's still in his uniform. So I'm like, okay, did you just get home? He's like, well, no, I'm going to take my best friend to the airport. And I'm like, does he know you're taking your girl out? I was like, okay, I'm not going to start anything. That doesn't even make sense. So we started, talking, and I'm waiting, and he goes into to change his clothes or to take a quick shower. I forget. And I see the phone. There's a lot of conditions I gave him in order for me to kind of get back in a relationship with him. One was he had to get rid of the phone, get a new phone. I did not know about the song 2 Chainz, 2 Phones, whatever. And people had burner phones and 5 and 10 phones. I don't know. So I was like, get a new phone, do the social media update. And it was, you need to really end it with your exes, and you need to end therapy and counseling, successfully complete counseling. So he goes to the bathroom or to take a quick shower or what have you. And I see the phone, and I wasn't ready to look through the phone that he had said he had gotten rid of. I was just like, didn't you say that you got rid of the phone? So I see the phone and I started asking questions like an investigator. And I don't need to be no relationship where I got to be an investigator. I'm like Inspector Gadget, looking at stuff, and no, that's not a relationship. So I started asking questions, and he was like, you know what? I'm not going to be, you say you forgive me. You can't keep asking me questions. And I was like, well, I need reassurance. And that, that you're not cheating anymore, because that's like, this is years of my life. These are years of my life. Like, I want to have more kids. I want to lay down roots. Like, I'm ready to be settled. And I've been ready to be settled since I, had my son, since I was pregnant with my son. I was like, what's the deal? And so he was just like, I'm not answering, I'm not even, he just started dismissing me, not really caring about my concern. And he's a drinker. He's a social smoker that I found out later, y'all. Anyways, he drinks liquor, wine. And now that I know moving forward, if I'm ever to date anyone and they have a drinking issue, they won't even get through that front door. They won't. Because I grew up with a lot of people that have substance abuse, and I'm just not doing it. That's So moving on. Sorry, guys. And it's nothing. If you're a smoker, you're a drinker, you're watching, that's fine. But I've been traumatized, and I just can't do it. And not saying that there's anything wrong, especially if you drink responsibly, you smoke. That's just part of what you do. So I'm sitting there, and I get so upset. And this is what they like. I acted outside of character. I take the wine glass that I see. I'm like, you're going to answer me. Why aren't you being honest with me? I love you. Why are you doing this? And I take the wine glass and I boom, break it. It shatters right in front of me. Listen to that point, guys. It shatters because I was literally right near his fireplace. And his living room was a ways over that way. So, and his sofa is right, it was kind of at an angle. But his living room is, his dining room and living room kind of did an L shape. So he kicked me out of his house. And then this is how crazy I was. I was like, I'm sorry, let me back in. I'm sorry, please let me back in. Just acting a fool. Guys, when I think about it, if you all resonate with that, God, don't do it, ladies, gentlemen, men, women. It's not worth it. So I'm acting a fool, and he's talking. He won't even give me the honor of opening the door. He's talking through the door. I don't want to deal with you. I'm not talking to you. And I'm like, why'd you do this? And then I'm starting to feel guilty. I'm like, but why wouldn't you reassure someone after you cheated on them and you admitted to cheating on them? They would have never known. You told them. So I drive home, and he called. He was like, you owe me $700. I'm like, huh? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you broke my MacBook. I'm like, you what MacBook? I didn't see any MacBook. Yeah, it was like over in the dining slash living room area, and a piece of glass ricocheted from the wine glass that shattered and broke my MacBook. I was like, well, let me see it. Send me a picture of it. He's like, no. Um, he kept hassling me. He's like, you know what? If you don't pay me my $700, we're not in a relationship, and we'll only get in a relationship once you pay me the $700. And I think I was making peace with myself that, this relationship this is not gonna work at all. And I was just like, okay. I mean, I'm sad. And in a way, almost like it was like I was looking for a way out. I was just like, okay, good luck with everything. And so he just kept calling me. You owe me $700. You owe me $700. You owe me $700. I even met up with my bestie about it, and she was like, "Well, maybe you owe him $700." And I was just like, no, that whole story. And she never met him. Da da da. But I was just like, I'm not gonna pay him $700, and we're broken up. We're not in a relationship. I'm free, kind of, but sad still. And then he would call me at my work. Just kept calling. And then this is when I knew, and I don't know why I went on to be engaged, guys. But he calls me finally. I was like, can you please stop calling me at work? I have to work. You're gonna get me fired. He says, you know what? I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna file a report against you, and I am going to call your work and tell them that you have a case against you, or a charge against you. And for me, I don't know why I went on to stay with him for another year. So I guess I was 33, another year. Because anyone who would go through that length, so you can't just let bygones be bygones. I mean, unless someone gave you the package, or like gave you a terminal disease or something like that. If it's just like, you did them wrong, and they scratched up your car, or they did you wrong, and you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. But, they were upset because you hurt them so much, and they really loved you. I think I don't know. It's one, I don't believe, and I'll tell y'all later why that $700 was a lie. But he was just like, I was like, why would you do that? I'm a single mom. Like, even if we don't work out, I'm a single mom. I believe I'm a good mom, a decent mom. And why would that'll take my employment away? I just didn't understand that. And he was like, well, then pay it to me. I said, I don't have $700. I hadn't been doing a Dave Ramsey, guys. I didn't have $700. But I had these Sears, how to give you these checks. If anyone who's like used to live the life I used to live, and I say used to because I'm getting my mindset together, where you just pay, your bills with credit cards, and you pay with another credit card, you pay with another credit card, and they give you the checks now that you can put in your bank account, and it's still a credit card. So I was like, well, I don't have any money. I have these convenience checks or whatever. So, whatever. And he was just like, that's fine. And I was just like, still, I don't know, guys. I must have very low self-esteem, or I didn't have my boundaries, or I don't know. So I ended up writing the $700 convenience check, and he cashed it like that day. And so almost another year went by. We went to do, or maybe 6 months. It may have been 6 months. So we went to do premarital counseling. Yes, I stayed with him. And of course, if anybody watched those videos, you realize that he never stopped cheating. He never stopped being a dog. But when I actually found his phone, when I ended it towards the end of that relationship, someone asked him about the number, that phone that he was supposed to give away. It's like, oh, what happened to your other phone? And he gave a response. Not that I no longer have it. He's like, I forget what the response was. I have to look at the screenshot. I think I've saved it on a screenshot. And the second thing they asked him, it was another person saying, oh, you were selling your MacBook, and they were negotiating a price for the MacBook that supposedly I broke. So that's when I realized, like, this person is really toxic. And I didn't know. I ended up breaking it off with him right after I saw that email. And that's a whole nother story. I think that's in another video. But I just want you guys to know that, I felt like I just been in war. It was mental jujitsu. I was like in the matrix. I mean, he would make me think that I see the sky is blue. Girl, that sky ain't blue. It's red. I'm like, no, it's blue. And he would argue me down that sky is red. And you know what? He was so good that I'm like, it does have a hue, maybe burgundy, a little bit of red. Like, I literally got so just all twisted. And I was still holding on to God's hand. I never let go of his hand. Now, it's almost like I was holding on to like a yarn on his robe. And that saved me, guys. That completely saved me. And I just wanted to talk about that. And I'll get into the narcissist and just, how to go no contact and how to survive and how not to waste your life and beat yourself up about certain things. But that I can't even, when I think about that relationship from the start, middle to the finish, it was all a hoax. None of it was real. None of it. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk to you about, I've been talking about the $700, and some people ask me, what's the story about the $700? That's the $700. He just lied. And a person who's willing to get your employment involved, or especially when they know they aggravated the situation. What I've learned too, when you're with someone and they have that nature, it's like drama, and they're willing to, just kind of heighten the situation. Remember me, crazy Afro lady. I'm gonna do the big chop again, but crazy Afro lady, remember me, and I'm telling you, it's not worth it. I know in that moment it seems like it's worth it, but it's not worth it. Because of that experience that I had, if I am ever, remember I'm ever, and I'm at peace with, if it's just, I'm single for the rest of my days, however God blesses, whatever he blesses me with, I'm at peace. And it could because I feel like I've been through the war, not a little battle. I've been through the war, and your peace of mind is invaluable. Your peace of mind, your peace is so invaluable. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later, and I hope that story time helps someone about the $700. And I hope if you're in a relationship with people where they're bartering and they're trying to give you ultimatums or things like that, that's not a relationship. That's not healthy. Okay. Bye.